What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I'm your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 81. Yep, we're at episode 81 now, moving on up. Every single day, there's some crazy stuff going on every single day. It's a crazy world we live in, but that is why we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. It is a Monday, December 8th, 2025, right after 6 o'clock. Hope everybody had a beautiful start to their week. But you know what that means? This is the first episode of the week. And there's a lot of things going on. We got to go over some stuff that happened over the weekend. And we got to go over some stuff that's popped up on my page today. It just popped up in my timeline. Just so stuff that I've seen that we need to talk about. We need to talk about together. Like always, I don't want to be in a closed space. I don't want to be in an echo chamber, how some people will say it. So if you disagree with anything I said, please let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. A civilized discussion. No need for name calling. Let's talk about how we feel so we can take other people's points into consideration. And then even if it doesn't change your mind, you still heard someone else's point. Like always, if you ever want me to review anything, please send that over to my email. It is acreviewstheworld@gmail.com. A dot after the A and a dot after the C. But you know how I like to do it. We got a few things to talk about, to go over with today. We're going to talk about stuff from people suing AI. We got college students overdosing and just some other crazy things. Like always, there's 4 topics. So we're going to go over all that stuff today. Remember, y'all, I stream Monday through Friday, 6. It'll be starting between 6 and 7. But you will know the exact time a little while before. But you know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about today, the very first thing, we got 6 families are suing AI. So it's the character AI where the people can create characters and talk to them, are suing 6. So 6 families are suing character AI because their children ended up committing suicide. It's a very tragic situation. End of the day, please keep your kids in your life. Please be in your kids' life proactively. But yes, they are suing character AI because their kids committed suicide. Now let's get over into the story. We got a video to look at, and then we're going to look at an old video that happened about a year ago around the same type of thing. And I've covered this before. But let's get over into it and see what we can learn from this situation. It's a tragic situation when anyone takes their life. But should they sue the character AI over this? Let's get over into it and see what we can find out.
At least 6 American families are suing Character AI, its co-founders, and Google over the role its chatbot allegedly played in encouraging their children to take their own lives. The parents of one of those teens, Juliana Peralta, spoke to CBS News' 60 Minutes.
Juliana is just an extraordinary human being. She was our baby, and everyone adored her and protected her.
Character AI declined an interview request. In a statement, a company spokesperson expressed condolences to the affected families. They added, quote, "We have always prioritized safety for all users." For more, let's bring in Ian Kreitzberg. He's an AI correspondent at Puck News. Ian, thanks for being here. You actually interviewed the new CEO of Character AI back in August. What did he have to say?
Now, before we get into that, let me just say, do you think that they should be able to sue, or do you think it's fine for them to sue, or do you think they should win is a better question. Do you think they should win the lawsuit for them suing because their child, who they were supposed to watch, who they were supposed to monitor what he was doing, ended up falling down a rabbit hole of AI. Ended up taking his life. Now, we don't know exact situation, but let's get over into it.
About concerns over the potential dangers of the company's chatbot design.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to be back. What he talked about was a kind of shift that Character has undertaken over the past couple of years as each of these lawsuits has kind of come down, away from the kind of general purpose, open-ended chatbot experience, which you see still at places like OpenAI with ChatGPT and a whole list of others, and into more of an entertainment-focused interactive media space. And so as each of these lawsuits has landed, Character has announced new safeguards and new approaches, and that they're working to separate teen users from over 18 users, so they can create more safeguards in these different model experiences. The latest iteration of that is, I guess, about a month ago, Character announced that people in the under 18 experience would no longer be allowed to engage in open-ended chats with their characters on Character. The key thing is, if you look at these lawsuits that have come out, a lot of the safety measures break down over long time chat exposure. And a lot of what happens is that these vulnerable kids, and it's not just kids, but in this case, it's a lot of younger users, develop these impressions of what they're talking to, right? People have this tendency to anthropomorphize a chatbot. We've known about this for a very long time. And so Character is trying now, in the wake of all this legal attention, to shift how its users, especially its under 18-year-old users, can engage with its chatbot.
But you say
so
that people have a tendency to treat these chatbots not like they're machines. I mean, these companies, they're trying to make them more human-like with the voices and the inflections.
Absolutely. It's been a really interesting thing to watch.
Now, here's a quick thing. We're going to finish up this in a second. But if your kid is going through and, I guess, believing at some point that the chat he's talking to is actually real, which we'll talk about in the next video about this segment, is that the company's fault? That's just like if a child believes in Spider-Man. This is my thinking. If a child believes in Spider-Man, truly believes, and his parents don't break down and tell him, no, this is not real, no one can actually do this, and he tries to go get himself bit by a Black Widow because it looks like the spider that turned Peter into a Spider-Man, could they sue Marvel over this? Or is it ultimately the parents who need to monitor what their children is looking at and what they truly believe? But let's keep going. Finish up this video.
Because we've known for decades that humans in general, not just kids, have this tendency to very easily attribute human-like qualities to non-human things, and in chatbots, even very basic chatbots. And for a long time, Character, like these other chatbots that are still out there, that's what it did. Now, Character still does that. Their latest push was to kind of get away from that, because they've seen, I guess, the results of that in all of these lawsuits, where, yeah, this is a thing that happens. This is how people react to this thing. And in some cases, these are the results that we see.
Okay, Ian Kreitzberg.
Now, that's a crazy situation. So 6 families are suing. Now, this is the first time I actually heard about this was probably about a year ago when this happened. So let's get over into this next video.
This story just heartbreaking. The dark side of artificial intelligence is now at the center of a lawsuit just filed in a Florida federal court. A family is grieving after the tragic loss of a 14-year-old high school freshman. They say that young man, Sewell Setzer, took his own life back in February after an obsessive relationship with an AI chatbot. Now his mother has filed suit saying the inventors of the Character AI chatbot should have known of the danger of this creation. Elizabeth Pran joins us now live with this troubling story. And Elizabeth, this is catching parents' attention everywhere because he fell in love with a Game of Thrones chatbot. That's obviously an extremely popular video game.
Very, very popular. Yeah, this story is horrific. Sewell's mom is on a mission, right? Working to prevent this from happening. In the suit, it's laid out that our 14-year-old son did fall in love with a chatbot that he created. Her name was Daenerys Targaryen. If you're familiar with Game of Thrones, she's arguably the...
Where's the father? Where's the father? Did they not explain to him that she is not real? But let's keep going.
main character in the series, and that it became a romantic obsession and he took his own life. You look at some of the language laid out in the lawsuit, basically it claims that character AI really creates AIs that feel alive. It encourages minors, quote, to spend hours per day conversing with human-like AI-generated characters, and that's what happened to Sewell. He just turned 14. His mother said that his mental health started to decline. He quit basketball. He'd been playing since 5. He experienced sleep deprivation, became a recluse, only wanted to chat, and it turned romantic and sexual, and he fell in love with this chat bot. And in fact, if you look at their last messages, he said he wanted to come home to her, and she said, "Please do, sweet king," and that's when he took his own life. So character AI is responding. They said in part, over the past 6 months, we've continued investing significantly in our trust and safety process and internal team. We've also recently put into place a pop-up resource that is triggered when the user inputs certain phrases related to self-harm or suicide and directs the user to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Marquis, I logged in last night. I will say, I'm not necessarily tech savvy. It feels as if you're talking to a real person. You can talk immediately. They respond immediately, incredibly human-like. It is very engaging for someone who is just 13, 14 years old. It's uncanny.
Yeah,
Marquis?
hard for them to differentiate. And correction, I said video game off the top. I meant show, of course, for Game of Thrones. But regardless, I mean, just thinking of this family, 14 years old. Life is different for them for the rest of time. Elizabeth Pran, thank you.
Now, yes, it's a tragic situation. Tragic situation that this 14-year-old took his life. So this was a year ago over the character AI. Now, but can you blame the company for it? That is the question. Is it the company's fault that the child fell in love with it? Now, should there be better safety? Because yes, there are impressionable children, and I can understand how a child would get mixed up because their brains are not they're not old enough to understand and stuff like that. Now, should there be some kind of age requirement for them to do kind of this stuff? Yes, I think so. Maybe they can install like some kind of ID checker. They have to check your ID, scan your ID, and you have to prove that you're actually old enough to where you won't be a danger to your own self. But like I'm saying, my thinking is the parent should be more engaged. You known that your child was engaging in this long chats with someone on the phone. Did you ever question who it was, if it was actually a real person? Because we talk about this all the time with pedophiles who will pretend to be in chat rooms with children. They pretend to be in chat rooms with children, pretending to be a young kid, ask them to meet, sneak away from their parents. We've been dealing with this not just with AI and them wanting to take their lives, but just child predators in general. At the end of the day, the parents need to be more in their kids' lives. That is the main thing that I'm getting from all of this. But at the end of the day, do you think that they will win the lawsuit? Do you think they'll come out with a win on the lawsuit? It's a tragic situation all around. But is it the company's fault? Is it the company's fault? Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy world we live in now, y'all. It's a crazy world, but we got to keep reviewing it and we got to keep living in it. We're going to pivot now. We're going to pivot now to the next thing next topic for our show. We got multiple college students overdosed at a party. We got 7 of them who overdosed. And then we got also 3 people were arrested. So we going to go over to a news article after that. Let's jump over into it and see what we can find out about this situation. Hold on. Oh, there it is. I was about to say. Let's jump over into it.
It was a frightening Friday night in Providence when a party at an off-campus house ended with 7 Providence College students being revived by first responders using Narcan. Some of those students were sprawled on the lawn, semi-conscious when police arrived. WBZ's Logan Hall has been talking to students and others in that neighborhood tonight.
Yeah, Ken, that's right. Good evening. Students that we talked to out here are saddened by the news and shocked that something like this could happen on such a small campus.
Because you hear about it in the news and like it happening to other people, but you're kind of like, oh, it will never happen to me, until then obviously like it does.
A tight-knit campus is shaken up after 7 Providence College students overdosed at an off-campus party. The Providence Police Department says 4 students were found passed out in the front yard.
It's definitely scary, but I think the fact that it happened so close to like us, where you kind of think you're like safe from all of that, I think it's like really like a wake-up call, and that like it can happen to anyone, and everyone needs to be like aware and educated about that stuff to prevent it from happening more.
Police tell WBZ all 7 individuals were given Narcan and transported to a nearby hospital. In a statement, a spokesperson for Providence College said in part, quote, "We want to thank the City of Providence first responders on scene, as well as college public safety officials who administered life-saving care to our students."
It's crazy that it would happen to like some like my classmates, or even if they weren't in my grade, like just that it would happen to people that go to my school.
Local authorities tell us that this is still an ongoing investigation, and we'll continue to check in with them for any updates on this case. For
now, it is a crazy situation. I'm happy that it sounds like they're all going to make it through, but they're probably going to get expelled from school. You got to look at that side of it. They probably will get expelled from school. It's a tragic situation, Let's get over into this next video and see what else we can find out.
7 students right now from Providence College are recovering from an apparent drug overdose. 7 of them. According to local officials, the students were found at a house party by police officers. Now, this incident highlights an ongoing national crisis surrounding drug addiction and accidental overdoses. News Nation's Marcus Espinoza is with us. Marcus, good morning. Everyone knows somebody who is dealing with addiction.
Absolutely.
And to hear 7 students in Rhode Island accidentally overdose, what are we learning?
Yeah, it's not just over a semester, right? It's one particular night here. So it's becoming a bit more common than folks obviously would like. Ambulances and other first responders reached the scene just after midnight early Saturday morning. 4 of the victims were on the front lawn. The other 3 were inside the home. The incident occurred in a house on Lees Street, just next to the Providence College campus. College officials say this happened at a house party, not any sort of official college gathering. Now, Steve Moreno, Associate Vice President of Public Affairs, Community and Government Relations at the college, issued a statement Saturday morning saying that the college is aware of the incident and can confirm that 7 students who were treated are okay. That's the good news. Each student was administered Narcan before being taken to local hospitals as of Saturday night. All were awake and alert. A real tragedy averted in the end here, but 7 and then the Narcan administered.
I'm so glad those kids are.
Do you see how close they were to the school? They're definitely going to, I think they're going to get expelled. Or they might. That is just what I'm thinking. I don't know if the school would want this kind of publicity, and they're going to think about that. Yes, they're happy that the children were saved, or the college students were saved and they're alive and well, but it is proven that you overdosed and take the drug on the campus. Yeah, you probably will get expelled. Let's try to.
Okay, but the fact that this happened at a college, what does this reveal about the larger landscape of addiction in our country?
Yeah, Hannah, so I think if you take a macro look at this, it's happening across the country more and more, but you got to kind of look in and dig in, see where exactly it is taking place. So with so many students overdosing at one time there, that's rare, but unfortunately the crisis does seem to be growing in certain spots. The CDC reporting earlier this year that street drug deaths are rising across the United States. Fatal overdose overdoses are happening at a higher rate than they were 5 years ago. That said, it appears that these are concentrated in certain areas across the country, but those problem areas can be found from coast to coast. To give you some perspective, in Lincoln County in Maine, overdose deaths were up 42%. In Spokane County in Washington, they were up 33%, and in Utah County, Utah, they were up 27%. It's important to note that drug death data takes some time to collect and then to publicize, so the numbers we just shared are all from the year 2024, and the CDC cautions that their most recent data is incomplete. As the nation grapples with this crisis, a big strategy for saving lives has been providing students with Narcan. It is indeed life-saving. And on Saturday, the commissioner for Georgia's Department of Behavioral Health and Development Disabilities announced that every public school in the state will be provided with overdose reversal kits. The goal, he said, is to turn tragedy into prevention. I remember when it was just first aid kits in the school.
Right.
Now it's Narcan.
Oh, incredible.
Crazy. It's a crazy world, y'all. So now they're telling they got to have Narcan in the schools now. I wonder what drug they was trying to take, if they were actually trying to take fentanyl or something like that, or some was mixed in with the drug they was taking. Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into an article real quickly, break down a little bit more about this, but it looks like they were arrested. So let's get over into it. So this article was released today from Fox News. I think this is Fox. So 3 people, let me zoom in some. No, wrong thing. Here, zoom in some. 3 people facing charges after 7 Providence College students overdosed during a weekend incident, authorities said. Detectives executed a search warrant at the apartment of Hawkins Street, Providence, arrested Angel Williams, 33, Patrick Patterson, 32, and Kim Shirley Simoe, I don't know how to say her name, 33, on various drug and gun charges, according to the Providence Police Department. Police said that they found 4 people unresponsive on the front lawn and 3 people inside. 3 people inside. Let's see. What, do we got any more information on it? I thought there was some more somewhere. Spec that up just a tad bit. Oh, no. So these are looking like the 3 people who were arrested. They look like some shady people. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, here we go. A little something else. So this is from News Nation. So 3 people have been arrested. I zoom in some. 3 people have been charged in connection with the incident of overdose. We know their names. Police said 4 people were on the lawn. Yep. Detectives executed a search warrant on the residence and found 3 handguns, 2 assault-style rifles, 20 grams of fentanyl, and $1,700. The investigation reflects the department's continued commitment to combating the deadly flow of fentanyl and illegal firearms into our community. The coordinated effort of the Narcotics and Organized Crime Bureau ensured that the dangerous weapons and narcotics were removed from the street of Providence. William faces 9 charges. Patterson faces at least 7 charges. And Simoe, whatever you're saying, faces at least 1 charge. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Just look at them one more time so we can. Absolutely crazy. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. But it looks like fentanyl caught some more kids. It's a dangerous drug, very dangerous. And I always said anybody who's selling it, mixing it in, telling people it's not, need to spend the rest of their lives in jail. But 7 college students overdosed at a house party on fentanyl. The drug problem is a problem in our country. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy world. We got to review the world together, y'all. But we have to review the world together. we're going to pivot over into our next topic. So as you've seen, or you probably have seen it, but we had a second Charlotte light rail stabbing. So the second one in 4 months, light rail stabbing. It's so an illegal immigrant. Let's get into the video, y'all. Let's get into the video. What can we say? What can we say? It could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. But let's get over into it and see what we can learn from this situation. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. Let's jump into it.
An illegal migrant that had been deported twice before is now facing charges after allegedly stabbing a man on the Charlotte light rail system. It's the exact same rail where police say a career criminal stabbed a Ukrainian refugee to death back in August.
Chanley Painter joins us now with those details. Chanley? Hey, good morning. So police say the suspect allegedly broke into a railroad car while intoxicated before stabbing the victim. 33-year-old Oscar Soloranzo of Honduras was arrested and will be in court tomorrow. DHS confirming the suspect is a twice deported illegal migrant with a lengthy criminal history in the United States. He was deported by the Trump administration in 2018 and re-entered illegally during the Biden administration in 2021. Then he was deported a second time by the Biden administration and then re-entered illegally again.
There is a problem with our system. There is a problem with our system. We got to admit it. Deported in 2018, re-entered during Biden administration. He re-entered the U.S. at an unknown time and location, but no one cared because why? We know why. We don't need to say it anymore. But then he was deported. Oh, hold on. So he re-entered during Biden administration, then he was deported again, and he re-entered at an unknown time. Prior convictions for robbery, arrest, for aggravated battery, resisting. So the exact person you wouldn't want in our country.
He also has a prior conviction for robbery in the U.S. and prior arrest for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, resisting arrest, and false ID. He is now charged with attempted murder for the stabbing, among many other charges, after allegedly breaking into that light rail train while intoxicated, while carrying a large fixed-blade knife, where he then challenged the victim to fight before attacking him with that knife. This stabbing attack is all happening on the same rail line where 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska was stabbed to death just months ago by a suspected career criminal. Well, President Donald Trump reacted on Truth Social, saying this, quote, "Another stabbing by an illegal migrant in Charlotte, North Carolina. What's going on in Charlotte? Democrats are destroying it like everything else, piece by piece." Officials say the stabbing victim remains in the hospital and is being treated for very serious injuries, guys.
All right, Chanley, thank you very much. Greg, North Carolina GOP Congressman Mark Harris joining us now. Congressman, thank you for taking time. Your reaction to this. Here we have yet a second attack, this time by an illegal alien that should have never been here.
It's just really unbelievable that we would find ourselves back here again just a couple of months after we went through the situation with Irina Zarutska. And it really is. It's something that grabs our attention and causes us to realize that something has got to be done, and enough is enough. And I think that's really where we find ourselves, especially when you see the backstory to this. Of course, in Irina, we've had the backstory of a person that had been arrested 14 previous times and was walking the streets and able to pull off that crime. And here we find an individual, an illegal alien, that has been deported not once, but twice and arrested here in our country. And yet, still, we find our Democrat politicians that are complaining about our law enforcement, like Border Patrol and ICE, who are here to do their jobs. And it's just preposterous. And I'm grateful that there was a good Samaritan that was present in this situation to stand up and really fight. And I'm very grateful for him.
And you make an interesting point, Congressman, because Charlotte's mayor, V. Lyles, who has opposed the ICE crackdown in that city, put out a statement about this where she says there are several aspects of public safety that are outside of the city's jurisdiction, including immigration policy and enforcement, but we will continue to focus on public safety and ensuring a safe and vibrant community. This
Hold on. So you was against the ICE coming into the city and all that stuff, but then you say it's outside of our jurisdiction, so it's not the city. Basically, she's saying it's not the city's fault that they're in this predicament as it is, or someone almost lost their life. It's a crazy world,
This comes as we know this alleged illegal alien that stabbed this good citizen that was standing up trying to stop chaos from erupting on that light rail train had been convicted of burglary in the U.S., had prior arrests for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and yet he was a gotaway. He came back a third time into the country from Honduras and was one of the more than 2 million gotaways that are in this country, and yet she doesn't seem to want to support going after him.
Well, that's a real problem. I mean, I think that's one reason that these illegal aliens flock to places like Charlotte, because they have an idea that they're going to be soft on crime. They have an idea that they're going to somehow be protected. And it seems to be a really bad message when we're more concerned about the illegal aliens that are here than we are about our citizens that are becoming victims of these violent crimes. And it is a tragedy, and it's something that needs to be called out. And I'm very grateful for Operation Charlotte's Web that took place here. And I think it's important. Listen, we called for the National Guard. We reached out to the governor because our Fraternal Order of Police in Charlotte had pointed out that we had a very strong lack of the number of policemen we needed. We were about 300 policemen short for being able to adequately work there in the city. And we've seen an uptick in crime in Uptown. And so we went to the governor asking that the National Guard, we've seen success in Memphis, we've seen success in Washington, D.C., and we thought it would be important for the National Guard to be a short-term fix while we began to get things together. But again, we have been pushed back. Our Democrat governor, our Democrat mayor, they've not been willing to step up and say, this is what we need.
Well, and Congressman, President Trump took to Truth Social, outraged about this, saying another stabbing by an illegal migrant in Charlotte, North Carolina. What's going on in Charlotte? Democrats are destroying it like everything else, piece by piece. Final question, the time we've got left, is your governor going to get on board?
Well, he hasn't shown any sign of being willing to get on board, which is unfortunate. And of course, it was after our call for the National Guard to come that we did see Operation Charlotte's Web. Border Patrol had more than 425 arrests so far, and they tell us they're not finished here. They're still working in Charlotte, and we're very grateful that they're here as a law enforcement.
Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this next video.
So today, an illegal migrant with a long rap should facing a judge for a brutal stabbing on a Charlotte train. And we're learning he was deported twice. Border Czar Tom Holman says it could have all been avoided.
These are more than 2 million people who crossed the border under Joe Biden and got away. They weren't fingerprinted. They weren't vetted. They paid more to get away. They didn't just turn themselves in the Border Patrol, get a free airline ticket to a city and get a free hotel room and free medical care. They paid more to get away. And why is that? Because they didn't want to be fingerprinted. They didn't want to be invited because they're gang members. They're criminal aliens.
Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett joins us now. Greg, when you look at this rap sheet, I mean, it's just pretty telling. Deported twice, assault with a deadly weapon, attempted first-degree murder, breaking and entering a motor vehicle. I mean, this is not the best when it comes to an immigrant story of someone wanting to contribute to society, right?
You're right, Lawrence. I mean, this guy's long criminal history should never have been allowed in the U.S., but Joe Biden's open border policy enabled him to slip right back in. You know, this is a broken record of violence and murder that, millions of people who've become innocent victims can attest to. So, it's really hard to believe that any responsible person would ever object to deporting criminal, illegal aliens. And yet, Charlotte still clings to its sanctuary agenda. Its liberal mayor and local officials vigorously opposed President Trump's efforts to send federal troops to Charlotte to deport criminal aliens who threaten public safety frequently. And once again, we see the inevitable result, the second vicious attack in just 4 months on Charlotte's light rail, supposed to be a safe place. The last victim was savagely murdered. It won't end until law enforcement, steps in.
Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. We're not going to watch that whole video. Let's get over into an article because he did appear in court today. He did appear in court. So let's get over into this. So the man accused of violently stabbing on a Charlotte light rail last week made his first appearance in court on Monday and was denied bond. Good. He's an illegal criminal, illegal immigrant. If they would have gave him bond, I would have been very confused. Very confused. So Oscar is charged with attempted first-degree murder, assault with a deadly weapon, inflicting serious injury, breaking and entering of a motor vehicle, carrying a concealed weapon, and intoxicated and disruptive in connection with a December 5th attack. The incident happened less than 4 months after the killing of Arena on the Blue Line. So his first appearance was brief. He faced a judge by video using a Spanish translator. They can never speak English. The prosecution says that he shouldn't have been on the train at all because he was already banned from the light rail prior to the attack. So the Department of Homeland Security announced that the U.S. Immigration ICE lodged an arrest detainer for him, who is from Honduras and was in the country illegally. DHS said that his criminal history includes arrest for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, destroying evidence, resisting arrest using a false ID, and conviction for robbery and illegal reentry. The agency said that he was removed from the country back in March 2018. He was arrested while crossing the border in 2021 and was again removed. According to DHS, it is unclear when he re-entered the country a third time. So prosecutors say that he was drinking alcohol and yelling at passengers when another person told him to stop. They allege he drank more and confronted the man. So the man who told him to stop, he confronted him. Refusing to leave him alone, prosecutors said the passenger, fearing for his safety, pushed him back. That's when he grabbed a knife, stabbed that man in the chest before running away. The rider, identified as 24-year-old Keon Doby, I'm sorry if I say that name wrong, was taken to a hospital with serious injuries. He was later arrested shortly after the incident. The Chevron, why do you say his name? Is Carlos. I think that's his first name. Is it Carlos? I'm just saying some random names on it. Oscar, see? Oscar. I'm sorry about that. Oscar was arrested shortly after the incident. Detectives say that he admitted to drinking and stabbing the victim. So he said that the victim is hospitalized, described in a TikTok live stream why he intervened. What I'm not going to allow is for you to attack random people for no reason, especially the elderly. How could he or she defend themselves? So he said that he confronted him directly. After a brief exchange of words, he pulled out a knife and was stabbed in the chest. I got a lot of blood in my lungs, and they are trying to drain it out. He said in a video shortly after the attack, it wasn't God time for me to die. I appreciate that. I'm really in a lot of pain. The state requests no bond and approval of an electric ankle monitor if he is released at any time. The judge approved he was not given a bond. If he is ever granted release from local custody, ICE intends to take him to federal custody. Good. His next court appearance is set for December 30th. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Crazy situation. I am happy. No bond. But he was able to get into the country twice. What is that? Hold on. Let me see. I got things messing up. Is this the one? This one? Get rid of that. Yeah. Things messing up. But he was able to get into the country twice. Absolutely crazy. Happy that he was finally caught, but someone sounds like the man he was just trying to defend other people on the train. Overly intoxicated criminal ended up stabbing him in the chest. It's a crazy world, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. We're going to pivot into the last thing we're going to talk about today. The last thing. It looks like we're going to go into... So, I wasn't expecting this to pop up. What is that? Get rid of that. So we have a special needs woman. So, we got... a special needs woman was found locked in a dog kennel. There are some demons in the world, y'all. There are some demons in the world. But we're going to go into two videos. An older video when it was first released, and then a newer video breaking down a little bit more details about it. So let's get over into it and see what we can learn from this situation. It's a tragic, a dog kennel. Something you wouldn't expect to see. Let's get over into it. Oh, nope. Get that out of here. Pause. Get everything right. Let's jump into it, y'all.
I'm Caitlin Leggett in Anson, where what should have been a quiet evening pierced by the screams of a disabled woman who was locked in a dog kennel in the house right here behind me.
You hear that precious child? And I know you have more than just her that's special needs.
This is video we obtained from a concerned neighbor, Justin Anderson, who reported to police on November 22nd that a young disabled woman was being kept in a dog kennel. We want to warn viewers that the video you're about to see may be graphic and viewer discretion is advised. Anderson, the neighbor who called police, recorded the incident around 8 p.m. Saturday night. He describes what he saw and heard that night.
You watch, you can hear her trying to get out.
Video, you can see the young woman trying to break through the locked kennel. A 60-year-old Candace, or Candy Thompson, who can be seen here in the video, was arrested on multiple charges, including aggravated kidnapping and injury to a disabled individual. She was first arrested Saturday, released on bond where she returned home to the foster children, and then re-arrested on aggravated kidnapping charges on Tuesday. We spoke with the City of Anson police chief about the incident.
Why they let her home? I mean... At this point, why you even let her home in the first place?
Officers responded and they located a 22-year-old female locked in a dog kennel in the backyard of that residence.
According to police, there were 2 adult foster children in the home at the time of the arrest. Anderson describes what he felt that night.
Scared for somebody like that. I mean, you know, you see this on crime TV or, you know, movies and stuff like that. And I didn't think that it being this close right there that it would happen in my backyard.
When neighbors asked Thompson why she did it, she responded because the woman was urinating everywhere and tearing her house up. Another neighbor told us she was in shock.
It's just hard. It's just amazing what somebody who's in charge of disabled, mentally challenged girls will do to them. I don't understand.
Thompson and her late husband, who was the former Anson police chief, have fostered over 50 children together over the years before his passing in 2020. Officials say the investigation is still active. The victim is now safe and the suspect remains in custody facing multiple felony charges.
We're serious about protecting especially our most vulnerable citizens.
KTexas attempted to talk to relatives who are currently at the residence and to Thompson at the Jones County Jail, but they all declined to comment.
I just felt sorry for those girls. And I don't talk loud, I talk soft, and I don't hear well, but I knew something wasn't going on over there, right? And I'm so glad Justin stepped up to the plate.
Absolutely crazy. Let's get over into this next video that was most recently released by the New York Post. So let's get over into it.
You understand how that is on a special needs kid? To where I get home and I hear somebody screaming like that? Yeah, look at your face. You hear that precious child?
New viral video captured by a concerned neighbor, Justin Anderson, shows the chilling moment he confronted a Texas mom for allegedly locking her mentally disabled adult foster child in an outdoor dog kennel, all while the victim could be heard desperately crying and screaming in the background. 60-year-old Candace "Candy" Thompson, who's known locally for adopting over 50 foster children with her late husband, claims she put the 22-year-old mentally disabled woman outside because she was, quote, urinating everywhere and tearing her house up. Anson police arrived at the scene after receiving a call from Anderson, who heard the young woman crying for help and repeatedly saying she needed to go to the bathroom. Another viral clip shot by Anderson reveals the moment police arrive at the Texas home, offering a closer glimpse of the kennel and disturbing screams of the locked-up special needs woman.
Hey, what's going on, police department?
The victim is now safe and the foster mom has been arrested. She faces multiple...
She deserves to be under the jail. There's some sick demons in this world, y'all. Let's keep going.
The foster mom has been arrested. She faces multiple charges, including aggravated kidnapping, assault, and crimes related to the abuse of a disabled person. Anson Police Chief Daniel Grazios told News 4 San Diego that for the city of Anson, we take it very seriously, and we're serious about protecting, especially our most vulnerable citizens. This is sadly just the latest in a series of horrifying similar incidents that have grabbed headlines. In June, an Oklahoma grandmother was charged for abusing her 8-year-old granddaughter and 6-year-old grandson.
It's a tragic situation when a parent, someone, either a foster parent or regular parent, abuses the children they're supposed to look after. There's got to be a special place in you know where. Special place in you know where for types of people like this. Let's keep going.
By drugging them and locking them in a dog cage for hours when she wanted to go out alone. Davina Marks is accused of feeding the 2 children, whom she had full custody of, antipsychotic drugs, whipping them with a belt, grinding her heels into their feet, and forcing them to exercise until they collapsed. The young boy told investigators that Marks, whom he called Meemaw, gave him Seroquel, a sleep-inducing drug used to treat schizophrenia that's only supposed to be prescribed to kids older than 13. Police said that traces of the drug were found in both Marks' grandchildren. The kids were immediately removed from the home after social workers from the Department of Human Services received a tip about abuse. Marks was charged with various counts of child abuse and child neglect against her grandchildren. Months earlier in Connecticut, authorities discovered a house of horrors where a stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan, allegedly locked her 32-year-old stepson inside a tiny room for more than 2 decades. The stepson, known only as S, was reportedly given only scraps of food, barely any water, and forced to spend nearly every hour of every day confined in an 8-by-9-foot room in near total isolation. The desperate stepson set a fire inside her home in order to escape from her clutches, according to the cops. When firefighters entered the home to respond to the fire, they found him severely emaciated, weighing just 68 pounds. Sullivan has been charged with multiple counts of abuse and neglect, and the case is ongoing as prosecutors prepare for trial.
That last story is crazy. I don't. There are some deep. That's like a Lifetime movie. Something my mom would watch. A Lifetime movie. Yeah. Send him to jail. Let's put him under the jail. These are some sick individuals, y'all. There are some sick individuals in this world, and you have to look out for your people. You got to look out for neighbors. You got to look out for people sometimes. Be aware of your surroundings. If that little kid, if that man, not a little kid, but the man wasn't listening or wasn't concerned about all the screaming he heard and just went about his day, that little girl would have still been locked in that dog kennel. Still locked in that dog kennel. It's a crazy world we live in, y'all. We gotta review the world together. We have to. There's too many demons in this world, so we gotta review it so we can at least know how to move. Wow. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy. But that is it for the show today, y'all. Like always, we talk about a lot of crazy things. We talked about just the goal. We know we got to do our end of show review. So we went over the 6 families are suing the character AI because sounds like kids fell into relationships and ended up taking their own lives. This happens over the years. Then we got multiple college students overdosing on fentanyl. 7 college students overdosing on fentanyl right next to the school at a house party. A second light rail stabbing within 4 months by an illegal immigrant who was deported twice and still came back to the country. He is being held without bond right now. And then lastly, this last thing, we got a special needs foster daughter who was locked in a dog kennel because she couldn't control herself. And the foster mother didn't even care. And this is a foster mother who, her and her husband, before he died in 2020, I think they said, fostered over 50 kids. I wonder what other kids and what other trauma she impacted on them, or if it only happened after the husband died because he was a former police chief. It's a crazy world, y'all. We got to review the world together. And we got to look after people. But that is it for the show, y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching now. Thank you for watching later. End of the day, y'all, we got to review the world together. We have to review the world together. Like you know, these videos will be broken down. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos I'm dropping. Because it's a crazy world. You gotta be up to date with these stories. I'm here Monday through Friday, starting at 6 between 6 and 7. Starting between 6 and 7 Monday through Friday, with some of the craziest news stories that we need to review together. You already know, y'all. I got to play that outro, but that is it for now. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.